In this video, we're going to learn how to use factorization method to solve quadratic equations, and we have two examples. So let us start with the first one. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that the equation is in the standard form, that is, in the form a x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So our first equation is in standard form, so we can just go ahead and solve it. So another thing that you need to do is identify a, b, and c from the equation. So in our equation, a is 2, b is 1, and c is minus 15. So in factorization method, you will look for two numbers whose sum is the same as b and the product is the same as a times c. So in our case, you're going to look for two numbers that you add and get b, that is get 1. And when you multiply these two numbers, you get 2 times negative 15, that is negative 30. So the best way to get this is to look at the terms that you multiply to get negative 30. So you can get negative 1 times 30. It can also be negative 5 times 6, or it can be 5 times negative 6. But you have to identify which one will give you a sum of 1. So you try looking at the first one, negative 1 times 30. It does not give a sum of 1. You look at negative 5 times 6. You add the 2. It gives you a sum of 1. 5 times negative 6 does not. So we go with the one that gives a sum of 1. So what we do with this is we split b into these two numbers. Our b is 1. So we split b into those two numbers. So let us do that. So you write the equation as 2x squared now plus 6x minus 5x minus 15 is equal to 0. So remember, we have split x into 6x and negative 5x. So now all we need to do is look for the common factor between these two. So 2x squared and 6x, the common factor is 2x. So we have 2x into x plus 3. And then between negative 5x and negative 15, the common factor is negative 5. So we have negative 5 into x plus 3, and that's equal to 0. So the next thing would be to take the ones outside the bracket, that is 2x and negative 5. And we do the same with one of these inside the bracket, that is x plus 3. And that's equal to 0. So we have a product of two numbers that gives an answer of 0. So it means either one of them is 0. So if we take that 2x minus 5 is the one that is 0, then we'll have 2x being equal to 5. We divide both sides by 2, and we realize that x is 5 over 2, which is the same as 2.5. Or we could take the second portion to be the one that is 0. So we have x plus 3 is equal to 0. So if that is the case, then x will be negative 3. So we have the two values of x, that x is 2.5 or x is negative 3. For the second equation, the first thing we're going to do is rewrite it in standard form. The standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Let us do that. So we have x into x, that will be x squared, then plus 7x, that's equal to 2x into x plus 4 minus 1 into x plus 4. So for the right hand side, you could use FOIL, or you can just do manually the way I've done. So you have x squared plus 7x is equal to, that will be 2x squared plus 8x minus x minus 4. So we can collect like terms. We can take 2x squared minus x squared plus 8x minus 7x minus x minus 4 is equal to 0. So if we simplify this, we're going to have x squared. Then here we're going to have 0. So we have minus 4 is equal to 0. But remember, we want to use factorization method. So we still have to write this in the standard form. So instead of taking this to be 0 and leaving it, we have to include it. So we write x squared plus 0x minus 4 is equal to 0. Then from there, we look for two numbers whose sum is b and whose product is a times c. So the sum for these two numbers should be 0, and their product should be the same as a times c, that is just negative 4. So for us to be able to identify these, we look for the products that give negative 4. So that could be negative 1 times 4. It could be 1 times negative 4. It could be 2 times negative 2. So amongst these, we look for the ones that can give a sum of 0. So we try negative 1 and 4. It does not give a sum of 0. We try 1 and negative 4. It does not give a sum of 0. We try 2 and negative 2. It actually gives a sum of 0. So we split b, this b, into 2 and negative 2. So we write the equation as x squared plus 2x minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. So the common factor for the first two is x. So we have x into x plus 2. And for the second two is minus 2. So we have minus 2 into x plus 2 is equal to 0. So the next thing is just to take the ones that are outside the bracket. That is x minus 2. And we pick one between these two. That will be x. That will be x plus 2. Sorry about that. So that will be, let me write that well, that is x plus 2, the ones inside the bracket. So we have a product of two numbers, x minus 2 and x plus 2 being equal to 0. So it means either x minus 2 is equal to 0, so that x is 2, or x plus 2 is equal to 0, so that x is equal to negative 2. So those are the values of x. If you found this video useful, please share, like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe.